Hey everyone, this is Miss Gregory again. So in my first video, I showed you how to log into MacNVia, which is the new electronic platform that we're using in the library that has everything electronic that the library has to offer all in one place, all of the links to the databases and ebooks and all kinds of stuff. So today what we did in some of Miss Hubert's and Miss Nelson's classes was to actually look in some of the databases. And you see I have this chart pulled up on my screen. We filled in this chart together. I'm going to show you some of the databases that are going to be good choices for some of the topics that you'll pick. There's going to be a lot more choices than what I'm going to show you. This is just to make things a little bit more simple. So in the middle column, I'll actually write down the names of the databases that I recommend for the particular topic or information type. And then on the right-hand column, we wanted you to write down some of the notable features of the databases. These are reasons why using the database sometimes is a better choice than doing a Google search. So this is the chart that we're going to use. So we're going to go to cces.macnvia.com and log in. And remember from yesterday, this is your school Gmail address, completely typed out, the whole thing. And then your password is your ID or lunch number. And please message me if that does not work. So this is your home screen, you'll remember. So today we're going to go on the left-hand side, which is our toolbar, and we're going to click on databases and get started. So the first topic on your chart is current events. And I'm recommending two different databases to get you started if you choose a current event topic. So the first one is Gale in Context, Opposing Viewpoints, which some of you may have already used. And the other one is Points of View Reference Center. As you can tell, just based on the names here, Opposing Viewpoints, Points of View, these are databases that give you reliable opinion articles and other sources of information as well. So remember, your databases are in alphabetical order. I'm in the list view. When you click on your toggle button right here, you can see the icons instead. I like to personally see the descriptions, but it doesn't matter. So I'm going to scroll down. They're in alphabetical order. Gale in Context, Opposing Viewpoints. Remember, you can favorite this. If I favorite that, and then I go up to my little backpack next to my name, and I click on Favorites, there it is. So then the next time, I don't have to search for it. You can use that. That'd be great. So, Opposing Viewpoints, I'm going to open this to show you some features in case you have never used it before. It'll just be slow, of course, but it'll eventually load. So here you can, of course, type in some search terms. If you scroll down, maybe you don't know what your topic is. You can scroll down and you see that there are topics organized by categories. So that's really helpful as well. Just for an example, I'm going to click on one. Maybe you want to research electric cars. So we'll click on that and you'll see that you get an overview article to begin, which is great. Maybe you are not really sure why people are debating this issue or what's the debate about. What do different people argue? What are the different opinions? Maybe you already know what type of information you're looking for. You want statistics, or you know you want an image or a news article. Remember, a viewpoint article is going to be an opinion article. That does not mean that it's not credible. You have to do some thinking if you want to use a viewpoint article on whether or not the opinion is valid, even if it's something you disagree with, which is, of course, something you need to look for sometimes. Just as a side note. So we're just going to say that you want to use this one. Driving an electric car reduces carbon emissions and fuel costs. So we're in an actual article now. So now we're going to look at your chart. Now we're in this notable features column. So when you're in an article, the first thing that you want to remember is that you have a Save to Google Drive feature. So when you click on that, you choose your school Gmail account. Now it's going to ask you for permission to save it to your Google Drive. It didn't ask me that because I've already done it before. And so once you do that, you get this little screen that pops up that says it's been sent to my Google Drive. And I'm, okay, that's great. So I'm going to actually go to my Google Drive because I want to find it. So here's the article. And you'll see that the article is now in a Google Doc. So obviously that's very helpful. When you're in here, you could go ahead and take notes or whatever you need to do. And I'm just scrolling down to the bottom to show you, there's your source citation in MLA format. So you can copy and paste that into whatever you're making. So in our chart, we're going to type in, for Gale in context opposing viewpoints, save to Google Drive feature, makes article a Google Doc, includes citation. Very important. When you're in the database, you can click on in the upper right-hand corner. It's easy to miss. The words are kind of small. There's your citation button. So you click on that and you choose which method you need to use. You can also export to Noodle Tools or EasyBib or Google Drive. Say that you were writing a research paper, you could just copy and paste your citation right from here. This is one of the most valuable features ever. You don't have to sit there and figure out how to cite an article from an online database, which can be kind of tricky. And I think we already typed that here, include citation. Now, you could also say you want to use this and you just want to go ahead and get started. So you start reading and you decide, okay, this is a very important paragraph. So I'm going to highlight that and you see how this toolbar pops up. So I'm going to pick a color I like. This paragraph is important. I will use this to provide background information, whatever your note is, whatever you want to do, save. So I'm doing all that. Now, what you could do is take all of your notes and then save it to your Google Drive. So you could save to Google Drive second if you're going to take notes in it, because it will save all of your notes and all of your highlights and export those to Google Drive as well. So that's really cool. That's really convenient for you if you want to do all of your note taking in one place. You'll be able to do that. And you'll see in the upper right-hand corner how I now have a 1 next to the highlights and notes. Click on that, and you'll have a list of everything you highlighted in the notes that you took. So that's very helpful as well. Okay, so we're going to write that down. Take notes and highlight. Saves those notes. If you do that first, then export to Google Drive. Perfect. That's just a few things real quick. And again, this is Gale in context opposing viewpoints. So the second one that I mentioned is Points of View Reference Center. So let's scroll down to that. And that's right here, Points of View Reference Center. This will look a little different just because it's from a different company. It's not Gale. This is from EBSCO. So again, you have a search bar at the top, or you can scroll down and once again see that categories or topics are organized by categories. So we'll pick one, say that you're researching animal experimentation. Looks a little different than the other one, but still kind of the same thing. You have an overview of article at first. On the left-hand side, this is where you can pick what type of information are you looking for. Do you want a newspaper source or an academic journal? You actually have a PDF option here. So we can write that down. PDF full text feature. If you want to do that, here is your Google Drive button. So when you click on that, it'll do much the same thing. You choose which Google account you want it sent to. And again, because I've already done this, it did it automatically. And see here, it's easy to miss. It just does it. It's been saved to my Google Drive account. The article is called Animal Experimentation. So let's build it. So see how it popped up here, and it's actually saved as a PDF. So this is a little bit different than the other database. So you're seeing that the databases have a lot of the same features, but they're just similar. They look a little different sometimes. So you have Google Drive, and here is your citation button right here. So you click on Cite, and you scroll down to whichever method you're using. You can also export this as well, or you could just copy and paste it into whatever you're making. So again, a lot of the same features, they just might look a little different. So PDF full text, save to Google Drive, citations provided. Those are some of the main important ones to remember. And this is going to be, what I just typed is going to be the same for a lot of these databases in these other categories. So if you know that you need a newspaper or a magazine article, there's a few, I'm going to show you two databases that you can use specifically for that. Let's see. The first one is Masterfile Premier. So let me scroll up here. Masterfile Premier, and it tells you right here that this is going to give you information from periodicals. Periodicals are things like magazines and newspapers. So we're going to open that now. And I'll just show you what it looks like. I'm not going to go through every one of these because a lot of them look the same. So this is the same company as Points of View that I just showed you. You'll probably want to get in the habit of clicking on Advanced Search so you can try different Boolean searches. Boolean just means that you're using more than one word to do a search. If you scroll down, you want to make sure that you have full text here. Click full text. That means that you're going to get the entire article, not just like a citation of an article. And that's very important because, of course, you need the actual source. So I'm going to type that over here. We said Masterfile Premier. Here, full text, because you want the whole article. You can also limit by publication date. Say you are researching the Electoral College and you want to focus on the recent controversy in the news. Well, you might want to put in here that you really only want things published recently if that's your focus. So you can narrow your search by publication dates. Very important. Okay, so that's Masterfile, and the other one is Newspaper Source Plus. So that's right down here. Obviously, this focuses just on newspaper sources, but it's going to look very similar because, again, it's the same company making it, but it says Newspaper Source Plus here. Okay, so we'll type in here, Newspaper Source Plus. These are also useful because when you do a Google search for newspaper or magazine articles, sometimes you hit a paywall. They're not free. But you may have better luck in one of those two databases. Now, there's a lot more possibilities than just these two, but just to keep it simple, that can get you started. If you need a peer-reviewed journal, that means that you are looking for a scholarly journal. Scholarly journals are very different from newspaper and magazine sources. Scholarly journals are more research-based, so maybe scientists are publishing actual experiments that they've done to publish the results, things like that. And that just means that there's been a lot of extra steps that have gone into the publication of the journal. People, their peers in their same content area have replicated their designs, their experiments, whatever it is they're writing about, to verify that the information is legitimate and accurate. So it's a more specific type of source that you might need depending on your topic. So if you need peer-reviewed journals, the general one that a lot of people use that you need to know about is Academic Search Premier. Okay. So again, this one focuses on providing information from peer-reviewed scholarly journals. And you don't always need that. It depends on your information need. But if you do, it's a great one. It also provides information on broad topics that, again, are more scholarly. But it can be science, it could be math, just so you know. Okay, so we'll move down to science and health. So we have some different options here. The first one is Alt Health Watch. I'm just going to show it to you on the screen here. Again, remember they're in alphabetical order in Mackin VIA. So here's Alt Health Watch. You also can try Applied Science and Technology. That's a little bit different focus than Alt Health Watch. Any kind of science and technology topic from scholarly journals. Consumer Health Complete. This one does not provide as much scholarly research. So reports, reference books, news, fact sheets. I'll show you this one real quick since it looks a little different. So you can tell it has a little bit of a different look to it. You can search disease, condition, injury, procedure by the letter. You have topics down here related to different health topics. You can actually search some popular periodicals, Popular Science, American Fitness. Up here, you can choose to only search in news and magazines, or actual reports or encyclopedias. You have your choice. So that's a good choice depending on your topic. And the last few they also differ from each other, even though they're all about science. Science Online is more of an encyclopedia feel to it. So we'll scroll down here. Science Online. This is a great database. If you are in a science class and there is something that you don't understand or that you want to learn more about, this is a great choice. So here's different topics, a little bit of science in the news, but we have a different database that's good for that as well. Diagrams, people, you have your pick here. So if you're doing a topic that's based on biology, maybe you need an overview of something. This might be a great choice too if you're writing about something that you need to learn about first. This would be a great first choice. So the next one is going to be Science Reference Center. Right below it. This one, again, is more scholarly, okay? And I'm going to do the advanced search. Well, I don't need to. It pops right up here. So let's say that you're looking for information on vaccines. So you can see a lot of different choices popped up, but I'm going to keep it simple just to show you what the results look like. There are some actual ebooks in here. This is what it looks like. Limit to full text is already clicked there. Here's where you can narrow down the publication date. So you have all kinds of stuff you could look through. Of course, that's a very broad search. Look how many numbers, that's how many results I got. That's way too much. You have to narrow that down. We're just doing an example here, so that will be another discussion that we'll have, just so you can see what it looks like. And the last one is Today's Science News. So I briefly just mentioned this one. Today's Science. If you want actual news sources for science topics, this would be a great first choice for you. They actually interview scientists. Let's see here. Let's just say we'll go with fusion power, if that's your topic. Now, I want to point this out. There is no Save to Google Drive feature for this particular database. This is an Infobase database. So you do have a download feature, though. It'll download the article as a PDF document right here. So what you're going to have to do, we're going to talk about this. Ms. Hubert and Ms. Nelson want all of you to make a folder in your Google Drive for your sophomore project resources. So because there is no Google Drive export feature in this database, you download the PDF like I just did, and then you'll just upload it right to your Google Drive. Very simple. I'm sure you already know how to do that. And then you'll have your article saved. And here it is. And there's your citation at the end of the article. So you can just copy and paste that right into whatever it is that you're creating. So this is very broad, but I'll just type over here. Some of these databases feature scholarly articles. Some feature news sources. Some are similar to encyclopedias. Okay. So Science Online and Today's Science do not have a Save to Google Drive feature. So you know. Okay, so we'll move on here. I'm trying not to keep this too long. Historical events, there's a lot of options as well. I'll just go through, I think, let's see, 3 of them. The first one is History Reference Center. Now, we just talked about Science Reference Center, so that's very, very similar. History Reference Center is back up here. I'll just open it for you to see it looks the same. So if you, and again, this is going to have more scholarly articles in it, okay? If you want to know what people who are scholars in the field are writing and arguing, this is a great place. The next one is Issues and Controversies in American History. So this one is really, really good if you know that you picked something that's a controversy or some kind of debatable issue or a topic that's been in the news or is a scandal or anything like that. So you can see you have your search bar. You can search by era. They have some topics that are debatable or popular right in the middle of the screen. You can do that. So we'll click on this one just to show you. This is another InfoBase database. So again, there is no Google Drive feature in here either. You have a citation button though. Copy and paste your citation. You can export it to EasyBib or Noodle Tools. That makes it really easy. And the third one for history is going to be Modern World History. So it just depends on what you're looking for. We'll scroll down to Modern World History Online. This gives you a lot of different information sources, maps, primary sources. You can browse by regions and eras. There's videos, slideshows, people. So again, if you maybe need some background information on a topic, this would be a really good choice. And I feel like this one is really easy to use. So that's that. In your notable features, History Reference Center is going to have Save to Google Drive. Okay. It's more scholarly. The second and third databases do not have Save to Google Drive features. I just want to make that clear. Okay. Sports and nutrition, I'll give you a few ideas. We already looked at Consumer Health Complete. Sorry. We've already looked at Gale in Context, Opposing Viewpoints. And I'm going to show you Gale in Context Biography, if there's a person or a group of people that you want to focus on. So Gale in Context Biography. So we'll open that up. This is very simple to use because it's just biographies. So you're just going to search by the person or the group. And this is the same company that puts out Opposing Viewpoints. So you can tell it looks very similar anyway. So we'll click on a person and you'll see the same features depending on whatever source you pick. Say you just want to do the overview article on a person. Here's your Google Drive feature. Here's your citation button up here. Okay? Great. And last but not least, the arts. Just to get you started, I'm putting JSTOR here and Credo reference. And for JSTOR, you're probably going to need the username password. So I'm going to show you where that is. But let me show you Credo reference first because I'm right on the screen. So Credo reference provides you a lot of different information on all different types of topics, kind of more like an encyclopedia would. So I'm going to click on drone aircraft just as an example. Of course, you can type your topic in here. You can see what it looks like. It gives you this nice map here of related terms. That's really cool to look at. And when you scroll down, you can see they tell you in pretty big font where the article comes from. So again, it's a lot of dictionaries and encyclopedias and different things like that. But this can be helpful depending on, what your topic is. So I wanted to show it to you. When you click on different terms over here, the words change. That's pretty cool. That could help you. Maybe narrow a topic down or just provide you with some different search terms. Okay, so I mentioned JSTOR. And you need a username, the username and password for that. So if you don't remember, if you go to Schoology, go to groups, go to upper school students. And on the left-hand side, go to resources. And you're going to see there's a library folder. So in here, the library resources PDF. This gives you all of the usernames and passwords that you're going to need for our databases. Now, if you're at school, you probably don't need the usernames and passwords, okay? We might for JSTOR, though. That's why I'm looking at it. So CCES is the username. And the first time that you log into these at home, I'm hoping that the next time you do it, you won't need to. It'll remember. So login, CCES, and the password was 2CCES4. Okay, 2CCES4 JSTOR. It's not going to work because I'm trying to do this for you, I'm sure. Oh, it worked. Good. Okay, so JSTOR is anything you want for the humanities. Okay, so if you're looking for science or technology or history, you don't want JSTOR. A lot of people get confused about that, so I wanted to point this out just so that you know what this is mostly for. Okay, if you need anything about the humanities, this is a great option for you, JSTOR. That's what it looks like. Okay. So that was our very brief overview. I know I talked a lot, so it's a lot to remember, but what you're going to do now is just browse through, thinking of your information need and everything I just showed you. If your topic fits into one of those categories, then you have a good place to start. And if it doesn't, you can just think about it. And if anything I mentioned sounds like it might fit, then great. You'll have some places to start. And there's a lot of databases in Mackin that I did not talk about. So maybe one of those will be helpful to you as well. So don't forget that this PDF is in the upper school student group, and your teachers are going to share it with you again as well, just to make sure you have it when you're logging into Mackin and trying to use all of the databases. So again, this was a lot. I really appreciate you listening, and please come by if you have any questions or message me, and I'll be working with you some more. Bye.